Hey, get off my screen. What are you doing there? What's everybody doing? I'm working on this guy here. He was here to help me, but I'm not paying him enough to dance all day. Get off my screen, you little monkey. Hi, everybody. Where the hell did that go? I just had it. I'm looking for it. Hey, I'm John Zidar. Get out of my way, you little guy. Where the heck? Yeah, I had to go and play, didn't I? Had to play. Everything was going fine until I did this. OTC. Oh, it's blocked them for me. I see. Way up there. Got it. Boom. Why do I even try to do anything different around here? I can't even do the usual right. Oh my God. Glad to have you all stopping in. I'm John Zidar, aka the Stock Wizard. This is On Top and Hot Live, where we like to discuss hot penny stocks. Normally, I'm the guy bringing them to you, but this gives you a chance to bring them to me every Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, I've gotten about 6 of the stocks that you've given me. I got a lot more than that, and I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are bringing them to me. When I was doing this with a partner, I could do about 8 per show, and they were doing the charting. And I think that's maybe why, because they were a little faster than I was. But I did realize that I needed to save time. If I don't talk as much, I can cover a couple of the stocks that I didn't get to preliminarily wise, the stocks that come in after 4 o'clock, or at least after where I stopped. I got the first 6. We're going to try to get to 8. Fingers crossed. Doesn't sound like it's a lot, but you'd be amazed. After a long day of trading, I'm trading for me, then I'm trading with the public over there at Penny Boys every day between 9:30 and 4 o'clock. Yeah, that's the whole day. We're looking for hot stocks, momentum stocks. What's moving now? What can we get into? So this is exciting for me, and I just don't get a break. So somewhere along the path as we're talking, I may blow a fuse. Just let me change the fuse and we'll get right back to it. I appreciate y'all showing up. Got my regulars here. Kashira, Dino Trades, Mark Ryan, the underdog, Lee. Woohoo! If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be just sitting here twiddling my thumbs waiting for the show to start, and we just have to do whatever we got. So I have got your stocks all lined up and ready to go, plus one other one. Matter of fact, why don't we dive into that? I see we've got other folks here, and I ain't missing you, Stephanie and Kashira and Jenna. We're going to stick with Jenna. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am going to jump right on into this, folks. We want to get more stocks done. So I've discovered if I don't look at as many pages, I don't talk about as much. That doesn't mean I want to cheat you, but I'm trying to learn ways to whittle down what I do so that you can get more from what I'm doing. I think you're getting a lot from me, but you are here to look at stocks. So let's get this ball rolling. There we go. That's what I was looking for. See, yep, you're with me. I've got another screen here. I have to look at you and it at the same time. There's no excuse for me to say I didn't push a button. I can see what you see here. So I've got notes here. Keep up with the headlines of stuff that I want to share with you, things that I have found in advance. So in case I miss them, at least you're aware of them here. So this is a stock that came to me from Jersey. He is over there on my Discord page. He's on the page that I handle, the momentum page. He is there virtually every day. I can't remember a day he hasn't been there recently. He asked me to cover this stock on Monday. Thought it was a little early. I said, no. Hey, you get it to me before 4 o'clock Thursday. I'll put it on the list. So we're going to look at his stock first. This is Blue Star Foods Corporation, ticker BSFC. Now, the information I got earlier today may have changed since I've looked at it. So if it says low daily volume, well, since I looked at it, it may have taken off. So I may have a few things wrong, but we'll fix them as we go along. When I did look at this, it was low daily volume. They've got a nice share structure. Financials are improving after they were falling. They have increased their authorized share count by 5-fold. They went from 100 million to 500 million. 500 million. That's in the filing. That's really the only filing we need to even look at. And then they've got a new deal, which is bringing them huge expansion. Can't remember what that is, but we'll find it as we go along. So Blue Star Foods is an American company based out of Florida. She is on the OTC, the middle tier, which is the better tier. That's what they actually call it, the better tier. It's better than the OTC pinks. Well, we don't have pinks anymore. It's OTC ID. Same difference. It's the bottom tier of the OTC. This is the riskiest stock to be trading because it has the least amount of validated information. Getting on the QB, you start getting validated information. You get financials that are audited. You get that all the time from QB. You have to be at least a penny. Fall under a penny for too long, you can be thrown back down to the OTC ID, the pink. You also start putting out other sorts of filings, which is more information. But they've got some green ticks over here, which puts them head and shoulders above other stocks on the QB. The main one here is penny stock exempt. This tells us in advance that we don't have to worry about this company being risky like a startup company. This tells us they've been in business for 3 to 5 years. They have had millions of dollars in the bank, whether that be from revenues or assets. They've had it. And they've kept up with their filings. So they've shown us that they're responsible. They can carry their own weight. Even though we are down here under 2 cents on the OTC, they are not considered a penny stock because as soon as you say penny stock, people think, ooh, danger, danger. Not the case with this stock. That puts them above everyone else. And they've got all these other green ticks, company verified profile, transfer agent verified. You want to see this on any stock on these OTC markets website. This is the only place you're going to get that information. And then independent directors are listed here. Now, on this website, they list independent directors when there are serious aspirations of uplisting. Now, you need them to uplist to anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're going up a tier on the OTC or if you're going to the major exchange. So they may have just come from the pink up to the QB, or they may be looking to go up further. I haven't done a deep dive. This just tells us that they're serious about it. It's not just talk in the news. So Blue Star Foods Corporation, what are they all about? This is a company that deals with seafood, primarily salmon and crab. They've got their own live salmon farm. Blue Star Foods is an integrated ESG seafood company that processes, packages, and sells high-valued seafood products. The company believes it utilizes the best-in-class technology. Well, of course they think that. In both resource sustainability management and traceability and ecological packaging. The company also owns and operates the oldest continuously operating recirculating aquacultural system full grow out salmon farm in North America. The company is based in Miami, Florida. And really that's all you need to know. They deal with seafood and they have a salmon farm. Anything else is just a waste of time. Let's take a look at the relative volume. I said it was low. Well, it's average now. It's even a little above average. They've been doing about 1.4 million shares a day over the last 30 days. There have been lower days. There's been higher days. Today, one of those higher days, not by much. We're up at 1.7 million. Share structure for Blue Star isn't bad. Outstanding share count is about 26 million. Insiders own about 6 million. Yeah, the dates are concurrent here, so this is probably all accurate, which gives us about 20 million in the float, 20 million shares on the open market. Not an actual low float. Everyone says 10 million and under is an actual low float. I say anything under 25 million is a low float, but that's just me. And anything under 100 million, I'm happy with that. It's not a low float, but I'm not bothered by it. A billion in the float, yeah, we got a problem. Looking at market cap, oh my God, what's up with that? Market cap is under $1 million. Micro cap, $560,000. Financials, is Blue Star making any money down here on the QB? Bloody hell. Right. We've had this problem. I've had this problem. They've had this problem for, well, since last Thursday. We couldn't get into the financials for anything. And it's been the same thing for me. The only way I can see financials is to actually dive into every financial now, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt. You know, it's very micro print and I just don't like it. It's accurate, but I don't like it. It's a lot of work. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to use Yahoo Finance. I got this one lined up. Yahoo has a lot of stuff on their site, so it takes a little bit for it to load up, which is the one reason I don't like Yahoo Finance. But when I'm just doing this by myself, I can be looking at other screens while I'm waiting for it to load. But while you're here with me, we're going to have to be patient together. It's not that long. I'm just saying it's not quick. So Blue Star Foods. We're over here at Yahoo Finance. If you hit financials, it'll bring you up the most current financials like we get over there at the OTC market, like we used to get. Now, we are looking at the annual right here, and we do have to add 3 zeros to any of the numbers over here. The top 3 columns are the primary, maybe the top 4 columns are what you want to look at. Total revenue, cost of that revenue, and gross profit. What do you get to keep? And then subtract operating expenses. Cost you money to operate your business, right? And that's been some big numbers that you see here. So looking at their annuals over the last 4 years, they've gone from 12 million down to 3.5 million. It's been falling. Over the last trailing 12 months, that's what this TTM stands for. I kind of like this. They've gotten about $4 million. Well, that's almost a full year, right? Since our last annual report here. So they're actually doing better. As I said, their revenues are growing after falling, but they've got a long ways to go back to where they were at. Gross profit, not much. They spent a lot of money, more than they made. So they were down almost $1 million just in the revenue game. But then look down here at operating expenses. $8.5, $9 million that they've had to spend just to operate. Well, that's twice as much money as they made. So things are a little rough on the financial side. That's as deep as we're going to dive into all of that. Taking a look now at the news. What is going on with this company? Blue Star Foods strengthens market position with OTC QB quotation. Ta-da! They came up from the OTC ID, just uplisted with their independent directors, up to the QB. So they've made a stance. We like to see this. It means that they want to prove themselves. They're becoming more transparent. They're putting information on the table. Whenever you're dealing with those OTC IDs, the only thing you can trust is the management. Do you? Have you done your homework on them? That's the only due diligence that really matters on an OTC ID. If you're doing anything else, you're missing the real due diligence. Look at your management. They are the ones that give you all the information you get with OTC ID. If you trust them, then you can trust the information. If they don't look trustworthy, shoot, don't trust it. Don't even give them your money. Don't trust them. Blue Star Foods launches Asian food division. Now, this is way back, okay? This is not a lot of news here. We're at February and March. This Asian food division, though, is something to consider. That's why we're looking at it. It's not selling food in Asia. It's selling Asian food in America. They basically, let me see if I can show you here very, very quickly. Jumping on over to their website. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's their salmon farm. I wanted to show you their packaging. You may have seen this in the store. They've got, it's variants. They've got a little change in their style here recently, but they package their fish, they package their crab meat like this. Where was I on that news? Right, so they are doing sushi. They're selling it here in America. They are targeting the Japanese market, but they understand that the U.S. people like sushi a lot too. So it was a good move for them, and they are making some strong money from it. Matter of fact, with their expansion came this deal. They partnered with KEHE Distributors to launch their flagship crab meat pouch nationwide. Now, I do want to dive into this piece of news because there's some big numbers in here. The national reach of 18 distribution centers and 31,000 retail online outlets. This company they've made a deal with is a top natural, organic specialty and fresh products distributor with over 7,900 employees. That's a pretty big company. 18 distribution centers and services 31,000 retail and online outlets, unlocks national access, streamlined ordering, and exclusive promotional opportunities for retail partners across the United States. And they go down here and they talk about this. They have 50% off or buy one, get one free. They got lots of deals to promote their products right now, and they're expanding very quickly with new products. So the company's doing well. As they were showing us, their revenues have been growing. Speaking of revenue growth, that is the last piece of news. This came out a while ago, right? We're here at August 25th, and there is no more news beyond this. Blue Star Foods returns to growth with 85% increase to revenue and 68% reduction in net loss. Now, you can dive into this and get all the details. Everything is going in the right direction. Revenues are increasing. Gross profit is increasing. Operating loss is falling. Net loss is decreasing. So all the numbers are going in the right direction. So things are improving right now. And looking at the disclosures for the company, we've got one disclosure here that's kind of current. This is back at the beginning of October. I can't remember what it was, but I wanted to share it with you anyways. Right, they increased their authorized share count right here from 100 million to 500 million. 500 million. Now, how does that affect us? Well, really doesn't. There's no real effect. It doesn't change your shareholder value or anything like that. It gives them more wiggle room, gives them more stock to sell. That is stock sitting on the shelves. They can sell to us. They can put it on the open market and they can give us shareholder dilution, make all kinds of money selling those shares, or they can use them to make deals with other companies, give them lots of shares and buy something from them. So they may have things in mind to do with all of those extra shares. But in any situation, as soon as they use them, there is shareholder dilution. So we always hope it's a little more than just making money. Yeah, making money promotes their business and they spend it where they need it. But making deals with other companies, I kind of prefer that to be the dilution sort of situation. Was there anything else we needed to look at here? Nah, that goes all the way back to September. So we're going to jump boat here from the OTC markets. We're going to go take a look at yes, you're with me, at the chart. All right, let's close all this up. Am I doing anything here? No. All right, I was playing some options here. I had one that was still hanging out there. It's died in the wind. I don't have to worry about it. So let's bring our charts up. Clean everything up here. Lots of information, lots of lines. Okay. See what we got. BSFC. That's a 1 minute chart. Let's take this back to a year. Let's get an idea of what we're doing. Well, we've got a high here of 47 cents, basically a year ago. And we've got a 52-week low of just under a penny, 0.97 of a penny. But you can see by this 200 MA, if we go back a couple years, I don't know how far, it was a lot higher. That's why it's falling so strong. It was way up there. And it must have been a huge fall because even here, it is still waiting to catch up to the 200. Isn't even getting close. Now, what is bothersome is somewhere around this area. I should have started seeing some wicks pushing up. Maybe now. Maybe we're here at 2 cents, and this is up at a nickel. That's it. I want to see some long wicks. These wicks pushing toward that, showing eagerness. I want to climb. I want to get off this floor. I'm tired of being down here. We need to see that. I do see volume increasing. I do see bars getting bigger and thicker and jumping, getting up on top of the MAs. I do see some wicks. We are getting into a 200 squeeze, so things are looking better, actually. All of our oscillators are warming up. Can't say they're hot, but they're warming up. Look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Not a whole lot of excitement when the 200 got close, right? She's tagging it, but she's not even breaking through it. I know she's not going to break out, but I would like to see some breakthroughs. We haven't had any breakthrough. She's resisting it over and over again. Our oscillators are showing some heat building up. We see volume increasing. We've got a beautiful 200 squeeze here. Oh my God. I mean, it's primed. It's ready to go. You have a falling 200 MA. You have a rising 200 Hall. These two 200s, though they're different, they have the same authority. They have the same power, but they have different attitudes. This 200 MA, it doesn't give a hoot about anybody. Pays no mind to anybody. This one is friendly. It takes into consideration current prices. That's why it's normally closer to the price. And when it turns up, it normally gives a power boost to the price, regardless of where you're at on the chart. If the price is over the 200 haul and the 200 turns up, you normally get a boost. But if it's sitting on top of the 50-day MA, it is a launch pad. It just gets excited and it zooms to and through the 200 in most cases. Now, after that zoom to and through, it's normally pooped out. Took a lot of energy. So it comes back down, but just look for a bounce. That was your first initial I'm excited move. Now it's going to get ready for the run. So that's what we're looking for all the time. And right now, we've got it. Coming down, squeezing on the price on top or above the 50. This is looking primed to go, folks. We just need to get some green volume, and this could shoot, and it could go to and through that 200 up there at 3.5 cents. And right now we're down here at 1.5 cents. So you're looking at over 100% run. Nothing wrong with that. Jump all the way down to our 5-day, 5-minute. We're getting some volatility in here, right? Here's our low, 1.2 cents. Here's our high just 2 days later at 3.4 cents. You're getting close to a 200% gain, a 300% run there. That is nice. Look at these big jumps, lots of rolls coming into the picture. That's what you want. You want volatility. This is when opportunities come, especially for day traders. You got to have activity. You can't surf without waves, right? They don't get out in flat water waiting for a wave to come sometime. They get out in the water when it's moving and they're waiting for the wave. And they just don't jump on any old wave. They wait for their wave that looks the way they like to see it. And that's the way we should be trading. You should be getting into a stock when the chart looks right for your board to get on it and ride it. As a day trader, you're looking for momentum, not just opportunity, but moving opportunity. Right now, she's come down underneath that 200 with all of our MAs over top, and she's just come up on top of the 9. Can't climb, you're on top of the 9. And she's getting ready to push up, it looks like to me. All of our oscillators are churning up, arching up right now. Volume is just turning green. This is at the bottom, ready to start moving through all the MAs on top of a rising 200 MA and start to climb again. Get some roll on here. That's what we're looking for. That's actually my 15-minute, not my 5-minute. Same difference, just more bars. So I would put BSFC on my watch list, but keep in mind, we really don't have any sort of catalyst, right? They're making some changes here. They've got things going on. Business is growing. Their last financial showed improvement, but there's no wind blowing. It's not time to sail. You've still got to power your own boat right now. But for some reason, without news, we got volatility coming into the picture. And that's all we're looking for. We don't have to have news, but you got to have volatility. You got to have volume. Who cares about the news? I don't look at the news most of the time when I'm playing most of the stocks I play. I'm only looking at the charts. So put BSFC on your watch list. It's free. It isn't going to hurt you. Okay. How you guys doing over there? Make sure that you can see what I see. Take a breather here. See who's dropped in. Hello, Maximus. Loving that name. Air, please. You know what? Air reminds me. I quit smoking vapes about 4 months ago. I quit smoking cigarettes maybe about 7-8 years ago. But I've been smoking nicotine since I was 17 years old. So I've had no nicotine for about 3 months. And I miss it. I still do. It's been 3-4 months, but because I've done it all my life, I miss it. So I'm going to try to tease myself here. I actually found a product of flavored air, like flavored water. It's a vape, like a cigarette, but it has nothing in it. How come I'm froze? It has nothing in it. There's no nicotine. It's just flavored air. Now, they do have them with vitamin B12, vitamin C. You can get a lot of different things in them if you want them. I just want flavored air so I can do it. I just want to do it. I don't need the nicotine. I just need the motion. Toothpicks don't cut it. You ever tried inhaling a toothpick? It's not good. Thank you, Air. I don't know if we'll get to Air. Let me see, Jerome White. Glad to have you here, my friend STGW. You know, I think we looked at that at Penny Boys today. I think that got up on our radar. Loving you too, Jenna. All right, folks. Let's dive back into this. Get back over there. There you go. You're with me. Next. Don't peek. Don't peek. We are now looking at Belmore. Belmore was first in line. She's not used to being the first not talked about, but we are right there now. We are looking at MTC, which has been hot. We looked at this numerous times today over at Penny Boys. She was jumping and surprising. Matter of fact, I think it's been the last couple of days. I could be wrong here, but this stock has been on our watch list. It is a Chinese investment bank company, and they do everything you expect banks to do. They do it in the United States. They have a license here, and they have a Hong Kong branch as well, which allows them to do all this cross-border business, which is real big considering a lot of companies can't do cross-border business. Strong daily volume, low share structure, strong financials. We got to look at Yahoo for them. We got them here. They are in hot water with the exchange, but it looks to me like it resolved organically. Now, this is what we were talking about yesterday. I remember this. This is all coming back to me now. Sounds like a theme song. MTC. Right, MTC. Let's go straight to the information since it's kind of on my mind here. MMTEC Inc. This company, let me start from the beginning. It is a Chinese company. They are a bank, finished today at $2.77. That's very, very key right now. She is up 25%. She jumped about 56 cents today. Now, this is a hot penny stock on the major exchange, which comes with benefits compared to OTC penny stocks. We love to trade them, but boy, there's a benefit package with major exchange stocks that makes them more appealing by a long shot. One, they're free to trade. I don't know of any brokers that charge you to trade major exchange stocks. I don't know of many brokers that don't charge you to trade OTC. You get to trade major exchange stocks pre-market, aftermarket. Some of the biggest profits you're ever going to get happen in these periods of time because there are no halts for volatility. When a stock starts to go crazy, good or bad, it just goes crazy until it calms down. There's nobody there to stop it. Plus, there's a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange, which is very vital for traders. And there's a lot more rules up there, which I think is just as vital. Now, they're not for us, they're for the companies, keeps them honest, which keeps our investments safe. So MTC, let's see, we got some notes over here about the company. Right, bank, we covered all that. So we're just going to fly on by that. We're going to go check out the relative volume, which is off the freaking charts. On the major exchange, right, MTC has been doing less than 200,000 shares a day on the major exchange. I mean, that's being in a hospital in a coma. You're out of it. You're alive, but you're out of it. Today, she exploded with 127 million shares. I can't even calculate that. I could, but I'm not going to. Share structure for the company, not bad, right? We got 25 million total shares out there. Don't know what the insiders own. Chinese don't normally own a lot, but whatever it is, subtract it, and that's going to give us our float. But even if they don't own one share, well, it's only 25 million shares. Only. I don't think 25 million shares is a lot of shares. Not really. So, worst come to worst, our float can't be any more than that. Market cap, we are at about 55.5 million. Important question is this company making any money? That's the only reason. Right. I knew this. I'm prepared. MTC. Now we get to see how fast this is. Not you. We're done with you. Okay. MTC. Shrink this down. This company, from what I remember, ran out of time. Their price was underneath the dollar, and they had to get that price up over $1 within a certain time limit. And they ran out of time. And yesterday was the last day. Yesterday, they were supposed to be going down to the OTC. But as you can see, I don't know if you noticed that, we are still on the NASDAQ, right? So this is the situation. First, getting their revenues. Over the last 4 years, the revenues have been bouncing around from about a $500,000 up to $2 million. And the trailing 12 months, which is almost a full year since our last financial, is at 2.6 million, jumping from 1.8 million. So the revenues are growing nicely. Cost of the revenue was not very much. It's only about a $500,000. So they got to keep 2.1 million as gross profit. But look at that next number down. Oh my God. Operating expenses, $93 million. What? $93 million? You only made $2.5 million. I know. How do they stay in business? I don't know. So coming back here, let me see. We don't need the Blue Star Foods. We can get rid of that one again too. All right. As I said, if you jump over here to the news, the company had a NASDAQ delisting determination. Now, I do believe I've got all the information highlighted actually over here in the 6K. Do I? No, I don't. You stinker. In either case, they ran out of time and they had to appeal it. Now, if you appeal it, it takes 30 to 45 days for your hearing to come up. Well, they can't do anything to you while you're waiting for your appeal hearing. So that buys you 4 to 6 weeks in a very sneaky way. So that can give us time, the investors, to push the price up over $1. Well, they were supposed to be kicked off and they had to have the appeal put in by October 31st. And they were going to be on the OTC November 5th, which was yesterday. Well, they didn't go, but we don't see an appeal here. Well, you know what? You never do. This isn't going to be the only company we look at going through this. We don't get to see these bloody appeals. All we see is that the company's hanging on the tree, hasn't fallen off yet. And it's like, what's going on? Well, let me tell you what. If they're going down to the OTC, they're going. They won't hang around. So obviously, things got fixed. They put in an appeal. And while that appeal was happening, boom, the price went over $1 and just kept going and just kept going. So it looks to me like the situation is resolving itself without any more worries or questions or anything like that. But for that totally to be resolved, they have to be over $1 for 10 consecutive days, close over $1. Now, this was the big deal. Most people aren't aware of this. You can do as many reverse stock splits as you want, but if you do, I think it's 2 within 2 years, or if they average out to more than 200 shares in the reverse stock split, you don't get a compliance period. A compliance period is normally 6 months. You got 6 months to get that price up. Well, now they say you're under it for the last 30 days. Get it up now in the next 10 days, or you're going down to the OTC. And it's like, no compliance period. So the only thing they can do is a reverse stock split immediately, or they're going down to the OTC. Well, something happened here. The investors got riled up and we pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And while all this was going on, everything got kosher. So everything looks good here. And that's really all there is. There is nothing else over here to really consider. Did you see any more news? There's no more news there. That's the only piece of news. Now let's see here. Just so we can settle this argument, because this is the OTC, we're coming over here to my favorite place to do research for news, StockTitan.net. We're going to put in MTC. This is AI. AI looks across the internet, finds all sorts of information, not just what they put out for themselves, and they'll write up blurbs about them, but they do show you all the official information. Here's our SEC filings. And announces receipt of NASDAQ delisting determination. There you go. Announced a 1-in-8 reverse stock split. That was December of last year. That was the one right there that disallowed them a compliance period because of that one. Now, we got enough shares. They could do one if they needed, but they don't need to. So we're out of hot water, but we don't have a catalyst. So why the stock is going hog wild, I really don't know. But when you're a day trader, doesn't matter why. The why doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is the direction. What matters is the volatility. Is there waves? Get your board out there if there's waves. We've had lots of waves. Let's go take a look at ticker MTC over here at Think or Swim. Well, that's our 5-minute chart. Let's take a quick gander at our yearly chart. She's been on a gradual downtrend. I guess before today, our high would have been about $3.57, somewhere like that, a year ago. And she'd been trickling downhill from that 357 down here to this 25 cents. And off of this, she bounced immediately. Now, I'm going to look at the shorter charts, but I love to see an immediate bounce off of a 52-week low, because normally that means the stock has value and this price is undervalued. So all these shoppers looking for low bubbles do their homework and they immediately take advantage of this sale and they jump in, and there's a bunch of them, and you'll see the stock not just bounce but climb, and people are taking gains because it was undervalued. Then it will normally come back and value itself out and find its middle ground. So right now we've had a huge rip for the last 2 days, lots of volume, everything pushing up, everything super strong, and we are still way the hell over that 200 MA. Coming on down to our 4-hour view, not a whole lot of difference there. All of our MAs are just now crossing the 200, which is a good sign. That's a lot more strength. Anything under the 200 is underwater. How fast can you move underwater? Anything over top of the 200 MA is in the air. How fast do you move in the air? Right, huge difference, at least in our world. If you're a UFO, I guess it don't matter. But in our world, it makes a huge difference. Well, you can see this submarine was moving real slow underwater. And once she launched out into the air, look at the size of these freaking bars. These bars are humongous, and they are staying above the 9-day. Now, we're not worried about wicks. Don't worry about wicks coming down underneath. Watch your solid bars. That's your primary concern. You want to keep those over top of your strong MAs. The wicks can tell you a story, though. They can show you balance. A lot of times it's like a sailboat. You got to put that fin down in the water to keep this tall sail from flipping over. Same thing with the very tall skyscraper. You got to put down a deep foundation. So when we see these wicks go through other MAs and then come right back up, expect it to continue going like a slingshot. All that is pulling down a slingshot. When you go underneath other MAs and it jumps right back up, you're catching it in the middle right here. That's where you get in right there, because it's going to keep going and just rock. And then you sell up at the top because it will not continue. That was a shoot. That was a rocket. Rockets always come back down to earth to refuel. And this is staying above the 9, so everything is looking very positive here. Let's take a look at our 1-hour view. Looking not bad. We had this fall. We took off, came down to our 9, came all the way through our 20. Now, this is scary, but as long as she stayed above this, this is our 50 and our 200 haul. Add that up, 50 and 200. That's 250. There's nothing that strong on the board. That is like the strongest support you're going to get. And it happens over and over again. When the stock starts running, you get the 200 haul and the 50 laying on each other a lot. And it's the strongest support on the entire chart. So when I see a price come down through all the MAs above it, the 20 being the last, I expect if these two are laying on each other, I expect it to bounce off of that, because it's solid. It's really strong. So I expect a jump off of that as long as you have volume. As long as you've got volume, you've got a good place to jump. That is so strong, you can jump as hard as you want and get high jumps. Jumping off the 9, you can only get so high. It flexes. It's like a diving board, but there's no flex in this little puppy here, and you can push off of that really hard. She's come back down to our 20. This is what she's bouncing on right now. Solid bar above the 9, above the 20. This looks like it's still ready to climb. Lots of volume in the picture. It is tapering off right now. We'll watch that. And our oscillators still show heat, but they too are tapering off right now. 5-minute. Well, she is above the 200. We have a trend change, right? She is actually climbing now. Everything is pushing up. All of our MAs are over the 200. Our price came down to the 200 with wicks tagging it. Right now, she looks to me like she's just bouncing. That's the way I'm reading this. It looks like a bounce to me. Everything looks pretty strong. All of our oscillators are even or trying to turn up right now. So I see heat on the board. I think MTC is worth a watch. It's worth putting on your board because people have been playing it. Not because there's any real catalyst. They're just celebrating that she's out of trouble. She ain't going down to the OTC. We don't have to do a reverse stock split. Yay! So that's real exciting. But is there any extra value sitting on the table? Not that we saw, right? All right. That's the end of MTC. Find me buttons. Come back home. What y'all doing over here? Hey, David. Yeah, honestly, though, quitting vapes, quitting cigarettes was what you needed to do because that's where the carcinogens were at. That's where the cancer causing agents were at. That's where the tar was at. That's where the ash was at. The stuff that all played with your lungs and screwed you up. When you go to vapes, all you're really getting is the flavor agent, which has been checked, and your nicotine. Nicotine is not hurting anybody. It can kill you if you OD on it, but that rarely ever happens. Nicotine, it will give you energy. It can also relax you. Nicotine doesn't actually hurt anybody. Your body can actually run better on it, but it is addictive, highly addictive. And once you get addicted, it's just taking money out of your pocket. And that's the worst part. I don't mind doing something on a regular basis, but when you start sucking more and more money out of me, that just pisses me off. That's why I quit smoking cigarettes. It just got too expensive, so I found cheap vapes. Then they changed my vape, and I didn't want to find a new vape, and I said, to hell with you. I'm not doing this anymore. If I'm going to suffer looking for a new one, I'll just suffer while I quit. Here I am. Hello, B87. I lost $50 today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I take it you mean on the stock market, not like walking in the streets. It got away from you and blew down the street. Either way, it's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Today was a rough day. It's been a rough week. The market has been dropping a lot and then doing a lot of weird things after market, pre-market, and then dropping again. So I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen any big news in the world to be pulling us around. The only thing I can think of right now is that we have had a government shutdown. It's been over 36 days now. I think that was the longest shutdown we ever had from 2018 December to 2019 January. I remember it. It wasn't too long ago. And it was 36 days. We broke that record. We are now going into unfounded territory. What will America do? Well, the market didn't give a hoot when the government shut down because the government don't give the market any money. And that's what it's all about. It's not like things shut down, the airports, the golf courses, they don't shut things down. People just don't get paid who normally get paid by the federal government. Well, the stock market don't get money from the federal government. So it didn't bother them at all. Do. They just did what they do. But now that we're going beyond where we've ever been before, fear, apprehension, worry, speculation. These are all coming into view now. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Christmas is right around the corner. What are we going to do? People are starting to worry. That affects the market. That's market sentiment. How we feel about the market is what the market is. It's not about the money. It's about how we perceive the money. I've been in lots of stocks that had financials come out that had great financials, but one number was down. Because of that one number, the perspective on the financials changed. They weren't good anymore. They were bad. And the stock fell. Oh my God. So I'm thinking fear is coming into the picture right now because of the shutdown. Not that the shutdown is affecting anybody. We're just worried it may affect us. That's my 2 cents worth. Today absolutely sucked. I did get a little bit of money, not much. I was playing puts on the IWM, the Russell. Small gains, a lot of little small gains, but it kept my head above water today. All right, let's jump into the next stock, folks. Oh, you didn't get the button. There you go. Don't want to miss that button. Okie dokie, what is the next stock, Johnny? Well, our next stock is JZXN coming from Dino Trades. This is Jiuzi Holdings. This is a Chinese energy financial company. Let's get JZXN over here. JZXN. JZXN. Jiaozi Holdings. All right. That is a Chinese company, Chinese energy financial company. Now, this is a little strange because the company says they were doing one thing, but you look and it looks like they're doing something else. And now they're talking about this. And it's like, you're changing operations and you're just not telling anybody. That's kind of what it looks like to me if I'm remembering this. Price way under $1. We have to worry about that being on the major exchange, right? They either have to get the price up or they're going down to the OTC or doing a reverse stock split. All of that is concerning. Their daily volume was way down today, at least it was in the last time I looked. Very low float. I mentioned it here, 20 million. I had to go look it up because it's outdated here on the OTC, so we can't trust that one. So it's 20 million. The company is investing $1 billion into Bitcoin. Obviously, that's the catalyst here, folks. They want to buy 10,000 Bitcoin at roughly $100,000 a piece, which is $1 billion. We're going to talk more about that. They are adding 18 million more shares from warrants that are being exercised right now. So if we've got 20 million in the outstanding share count and we're adding 18 million more, that's virtually double, which means that's a 50% loss on your shareholder value right there. Calculate that. And God, if I understand this at all, I read it twice and it's like, well, I've never seen it. I don't understand it, but I'm going to share it with you. They have 2 planned reverse stock splits. I don't get this, but let's cover this so we can see what we've got. JZXN, Jiaozi Holdings, finished today at 25 cents, down about 5%, falling about a penny and a half. Hot penny stock on the NASDAQ? Well, she's on the NASDAQ. Whether she's hot or not is still to be seen. Company, as I said, is from China. Now, Jiaozi Holdings, through its subsidiary Jiaozi New Energy Vehicles, operate retail stores under the Jiaozi brand, and they sell energy vehicles, electric vehicles, plug-in. Well, I went and looked it up on Google. I found pictures of their cars. Okay, great. Jumped into those pictures. Every piece of information I found like that went to 2022. I couldn't find anything for 2023, 2024, 2025. It's like, what the heck? Where's your cars? None of this seemed to be really what was going on. So something else is happening. Let's see if we got that information over here. Now, let's see. Can I get it from here? Yes. Here's a description that they put in their most recent press release. Jiaozi Holdings is a China-based company focused on sustainable energy and financial innovation, leveraging its regulated corporate framework. Jiaozi is expanding into digital asset finance to provide compliant gateways for institutional investors seeking exposure to blockchain-based products. Folks, this just isn't adding Bitcoin to your treasury. They're changing their operations, what they're doing here. They're creating a gateway, an exchange for corporations to buy their Bitcoin. They're going to stake it. This is the piece of news. We believe this partnership is powerful. They are getting with Solve. Now, let me back this up. I don't want to confuse you here. They've got lots going on, all for this $1 billion purchase. They've made a partnership with BitFi to advance the Bitcoin-centric finance. They need them as one of the moving parts for all of this gateway to work, whatever it is they do. Then they've got Solve. Solve is going to hold their Bitcoin. They've got all the credentials. They've got everything that's legit, keeping this all above board so we don't have to worry about it. So they're getting with the right people. Now, reading this information, they tell us that they believe this partnership is a powerful accelerator for achieving their vision of becoming the premier platform for global institutions to access Bitcoin, and will unlock a clear path to immense value creation for our company and shareholders. I'm going to guess they're out of electric vehicles. I don't think they're doing that anymore, and I haven't seen any information about that, but I didn't do a deep dive. I don't know if they're working with financial institutions outside of Bitcoin. Look, I think the only thing they're doing now is this. I may be wrong, but everything I've seen, this is all they're talking about now, is this new gateway to stake their Bitcoin and make money on their assets over and over and over again. The Sol Foundation is the operating layer for Bitcoin, powering the 1 trillion Bitcoin finance economy through lending, liquid staking, and high efficiency yield products, transforming Bitcoin from a passive store of value into a productive, globally accessible financial class asset. Look, folks, you got $1 billion and you just plug it in and people take a piece out and they put a piece back in with a little extra, take a piece out, put a piece back in with a little extra. Do you really need to do anything else? I think this is their new operations. Was there any other news over there we needed to consider? Well, it's all about that. There is lots of people getting involved with this, $30 million private placement. So it's all about the Bitcoin. We're not going to dive into that, but that's what's going on. Taking a look at the relative volume, not a lot of excitement around $1 billion. Folks, I noticed initially, and it's like maybe we're getting tempered. Initially, anybody that threw that $1 billion out there, and it was normally for Bitcoin, there wasn't a whole lot of $1 billion stock deals around penny stocks anyways, right? As soon as that $1 billion came out, stocks just went crazy. $1 billion, it's just not doing that. It's like we've gotten used to seeing it, a dinosaur. Oh, okay, it's another dinosaur. We've just gotten accustomed to it. So we dropped from 11 million shares as a daily average down to 1.1 million. Not a lot of excitement. Share structure, 11 million is not right. That's from October of last year. What is it? Thank you, Julie. That's right. It is 20 million, and they will be adding 18 million to it gradually. It's not all at once. They're just going to be petering it out there whenever they feel like it. That's when they're going to do it. But it's going to be constantly growing. Market cap right now, we're just under $3 million. Well, no, we're going to have to change that. 20 times that. That's going to give us 5 million. Yeah, $5 million. Thank you very much. Financials. Okay, are they making any money? Bloody. It's okay. It's okay. I don't like it, but I am prepared for it. So we're back here at my backup Yahoo Finance, which is well overloaded. Too much on their site. I just upgraded my computer so I could handle more, and still this site takes forever to load. Research reports. No, give me my financials. Bump, 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 bump. Hey, did you notice my hat? You notice I buy Temu hats. Oh, look at this. They're advertising. They found me. So everywhere I go, they want me to buy more hats. I bought a bunch of these in different colors. I noticed that in a lot of my pictures with my dark shirt and my dark hat and my beard, I look like a Muslim. And I'm not a Muslim. I don't look like, well, I do look like a Christian, like Jesus. So I look like a Christian. I look like a Muslim. I look like a skinny anorexic Santa Claus. I didn't want to look like anything. I just wanted to be a wizard. So instead of black, I got a whole bunch of different colors now. I got lots of different colors in these. So we're going to be seeing me wearing more of these beanies. I like these. The ones with the brims are tough because I can't see you and you can't see me. So they're just not right. All right. Back to our numbers over here. So over the last, looks like 4 years, 2021 to current, we had $10 million 4 years ago and then nothing for 2 years, 2022 and 2023. I have no clue why. And then we came back into the picture in October of 2024 with $1.4 million. And right now we're doing less than that over the last trailing 12 months. And we just came out of October. So it's been a full year. We did less than we did last year. About, $970,000. Cost of revenue, about $31,000. So they are bringing home profits. At least they're in the black. But then look how much operating expenses are. Holy cannoli. $40 million operating expenses. And you didn't even make $1 million. God. Back to our information over here. What are we looking at? We're not looking at that anymore. We wanted to see the disclosures. We got two of them over here. We got an F3. Now, the F3 tells us about those 18 million warrants that are going to be exercised. That's where I got that information from. This one right here is about two splits, and I have no idea how to explain this to you. I can only show you that they're going to do this. All right, I've lost all my highlighting, but because I stared at this for so long, I do remember it. Phase 1 meeting. They had shareholder meetings. They had a phase 2 meeting, extraordinary meeting, and a phase 1 meeting. At the phase 1 meeting, they decided to have a reverse stock split, a 1-in-5 reverse stock split. Then they had a second meeting right behind the first meeting and approved a second reverse stock split of 1-in-40. Now, they don't give us dates here. I don't know when this is supposed to happen. I don't know if they're doing a 1-in-5 and then coming right behind that on top of whatever that number is and doing a 1-in-40. They could. I mean, I've seen some crazy things before. I have seen reverse stock splits and then forward splits immediately afterwards. So they could be doing two reverse stock splits here, which the way that works is if they're doing a 5 and a 40, if they do these back to back, 5 times 40 is 200. So it will basically be equivalent to a 1-in-200 reverse stock split. If you're holding any shares now, by the time this is all done with, that's how it will probably ride out. So that's all the information that we've got over here. That was just going back here. All right, I'm going to look at this SC13G because we need some good news. SC13Gs, SC13Ds are when new investors come into the companies. They buy so many shares, they own a percentage of the company. They become insiders. This is Empery Asset Management Company. They have just gotten themselves 1.5 million shares, which gives them about 7.4% of the company, which is always a good thing to see people stepping up, putting big money into the company. So that's what's going on with this company right now. Let's see. I wanted to refresh myself. So their catalyst is that they've got $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that they are going to be staking and using to create more revenues. Everything else they were doing, I don't think they're doing. Don't take me at my word for that because I haven't actually found anything that said that. But you can normally go through a financial and under the word operations, if you do a keyword search, you can normally find we have quit operations doing this or we started operations. You may be able to find out exactly what's going on there. So let's go take a look now at ticker JZXN over at the charts. JZXN. Really? That's the 5-minute chart? That's disgusting. I would have expected $1 billion to give us more activity. Okay, so here is our yearly chart. We have got a 52-week high of $7.82 April of this year. We've got a 52-week low of 25 cents October, just at the end of October. She was over top of that 200 with a lot of volatility. She was jumping from the 200 at about 250, up and down, all the way up to that 780, up and down, in lots of different places in there, and then just fell. I don't know. There must have been a reason here. Correlate this to some piece of news. Correlate that to some filing. That happened June 16th, June 18th, somewhere in that region. She fell on a rising 200 that is going up, and she fell under it hard. Came down from, well, about 260 all the way down to 80 cents and hung out down here, pushed up to the 200, failed to go anywhere past it, and came back down even lower. Got punished, right? She started here at 89, jumped up to 240. That's 300% gains, and then fell from 240 all the way down to, 30 cents. And she went sideways and dribbled until she hit that quarter. And off of that, she started to push up a little bit, but she isn't going anywhere. She is flat as a pancake, though you can't see it with all my lines there. Let's come on down to the 1-hour view. So here's our 200 coming down fast and furious, hits the price, and the price doesn't do a bloody thing. I don't like that. I want to see prices jump as soon as the 200 gets to it. Doesn't have to break out, but I want to see you jump. Show me some enthusiasm. Show me that you're out of bed, that you're planning on going to work today. This thing just kept staying underneath. Here's a little peeky boo. Not interested. Little late. Sorry. Now we get one. I'm sure there was a piece of news. Absolutely had to be a piece of news here. But we did have a 200 squeeze. Our 200 haul is right there. Our 200 MA is right there. The price in the middle. She's on top of the 50. Boom. To and through the 200. It could have been a technical. Could have been lined up to a piece of news. I would have to look. But she jumped here from about 30 cents up to not a big jump at all. 40 cents. That's it. But that's 25%. Once she got up on top of that 200, we had a big rip then. She went from about 40 cents up to 66 cents. Now you're talking a little over 50%. And she paid for that. She came down hard. Now she's rocking through here. It's like people feel it should run $1 billion, 10,000 Bitcoin. This is serious, and you're not just holding it in your treasury. You're doing something with it that's going to make you lots of money. Maybe they need to start throwing around those numbers. How much money are you going to make? Give us a projection. That may help, because right now she seems to be losing all the heat that they're trying to generate with these big pieces of news. It just isn't working. Let me get rid of this because that isn't working either. My Fibonacci there. She did not climb as I was expecting. I can always come back and put that in. Let's take a look at our 5-day, 5-minute. Look, right? This is where we started. We were at 50 cents, came down at the bell. She fell, and she just hasn't looked up. She went underneath the 200, and she just won't even try coming up over the 200. We hit a low here of 24 cents, and she gets on the 200 just to come back down underneath. All of our MAs are pushing down. This doesn't look exciting to me. I mean, she has every reason to be moving right now. If they literally did buy it, if this just isn't talk, if they've actually put out the money, if they've literally spent $1 billion on 10,000 Bitcoin, then there's something here. Why isn't it moving? I mean, $1 billion is way more than their market cap, right? There's value in the company just sitting there. Why isn't it moving? $1 billion asset is only worth 25 cents. I don't know. Something's just strange here. This company needs some more due diligence. You need to get into reading all that, and not just the news. You need to get into the filings. The filings are the hard facts. That is the concrete of all of this. And that's what we need, the hard facts. But because it is $1 billion, it is 10,000 Bitcoin, it's worth putting on your watch list. When it does come alive, it could really come alive hard. Okie dokie. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Need to take a break. Need my head to come back. Oh boy. You know, we've got lots of people that trade over there at Penny Boys Live. And honestly, folks, I'm an okay trader. But I'm not. Look, we've got traders over at Penny Boys that I feel went to school, that are college educated. They're not, but doggone it, man. These guys got their stuff down pat. I'm still learning from them. And I don't mind you following me, but you know, swing trades are probably a lot safer than your momentum trades. Momentum trades wear on you. They put a lot of frustration on you. It's constant. You never get a break. You know, you need to breathe. We have Pookie trades live. I think this is virtually every day. You can catch him in the morning live. He will teach you so much. He is so simple. He has 1% risk trades, 1% risk. We have Mad Maverick, who has his own 20-day average trading style, which is very unique. You think you've seen every 20-day trade style? Bet you ain't seen his. And it's simple, it's effective, and it works very well. He has his on a regular basis for his members. He has a team of people he helps all the time that pay for his services, which is only $40 a month. That's bloody cheap if you ask me. $40 a month for someone to teach you how to get rich? What a joke. But on Thursdays, he's free. Thursdays he's free, and it's right at the bell. He's on Twitter. He's on YouTube. I think he's on YouTube. He's on our Discord, so you can catch him too. So we have lots of people you can actually trade with. Me, I don't trade live because I never know what I'm going to do. I don't mean trade wise. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got a mouth and I got a temper. The things Alexa hears, oh my God, unbelievable. Okay, let's jump on back into another stock. I got to hit that button so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, that helps, don't it? We are now taking a look at, let's get into my, there we go. We're looking at, really? Yep, that's right. Okay. Dino Trades had a whole bunch of tickers he gave me to look at, and we had pretty much covered most of them. EPWK, I just covered the other one. He wanted to look at AABB, and I said, no, I don't want to cover AABB. Mark Ryan came in and says, I'll second AABB. Thanks, Mark. Why didn't I want to cover it? Well, I think I didn't want to cover it because of what I remembered. I've been looking at this stock for a couple years. They've been going through a lot of stuff over the last few years. And I don't know. I think I got them confused with another company because I did some more research on them because I was remembering Vietnam. I was remembering a diamond exchange. And it's like, isn't that this company? But no, it's not this company. This is AABB, Asia Broadband. Asia Broadband. This is a precious metal company, primarily gold. I don't hear them talking about any other precious metal. Golden baboons is what they're well known for. You remember these critters? Do you? Before COVID, this company was really hot with their golden baboons. The metaverse was hot. NFTs was hot. Virtual properties were real hot. Then COVID hit. Boom. And when we came back after COVID, all that frivolous technology, which we're still working with, we just kind of put on the back burner. Metaverse didn't come back churning and burning like it was. This didn't come back. NFTs didn't come back. They just kind of were sitting on the back burner. But this was all about them. What else do we have? They have a wallet. They have a token. Their token is based on gold, the price of gold. They want their token to follow the price of gold. They want to get this onto the exchanges. Well, I don't know what the problem is. I haven't done a deep dive here, but they have created their own wallet to hold their own token. Why? You can't put your token on someone else's wallet? Why? Now, I don't know a lot about crypto and I don't know a lot about tokens, but I do know that you can put your tokens in, you can mix them. They can live together. Not all of them. I know they're separate. I do believe their token is on the Ethereum platform. So you'd think they'd be able to go on any sort of Ethereum wallet, but they had to create their own wallet. And in that wallet, other cryptos can be brought in as well. Steady revenues, no problem there. Strong stockholder equity for a little company, and we got no filings to consider. So AABB, this is a company based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Finished today at 1.5 cents, basically. She was up about 60% today, only jumping 0001. What? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 60%. It's 0.60. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. Yeah, 0.60%. She only moved 0001. I think that's 1/1000th of a penny. I think that's right. She is on the bottom tier of the OTC, the IDs, which is the riskiest tier because you get the least amount of verifiable information. You're giving people your money. You're not doing anything else. I lost more money on this tier. It's now called ID, but it's basically the pink because I trusted the news, folks. When I started trading, I just believed everything I read. I didn't think anybody would be trying to pull the wool over my eyes. This is serious business. These people are making money. They're not here to rip me off. Bull. Man, these people down on the OTC ID, half of them are scam artists. There's a lot of serious, honest companies down here. Don't get me wrong, but this is the ghetto. And there's a lot of criminals that live in the ghetto amongst all the honest people. So you got to be real prudent down here, folks. And the prudency is studying the management. You want to take the news as your investment advice, consider it hype. Get in, get out. Don't trust what you're reading for any long hold. That's how I lost over $40,000, $50,000, trusting that in 3 months, this is going to happen. Well, in 3 months, everything blew apart. It all disintegrated. Everything I believed in was gone. And that happens over and over and over again on the OTCID. So take the news with a grain of salt. Get in there and study the management. That's your best due diligence on this tier. This here is the only real validated information you get. Company's verified profile. It is important. Transfer agent verified. It is important. You want to know what they are? Click them. They'll give you more information. It is the OTCmarkets.com website that does these verifications. This is their business. This site, housing every stock on the entire market, not just OTC penny stocks. No, every stock on the market is covered. This company, the OTC Markets, is actually on the OTC. You can invest in them. Their ticker is OTCIQ over here. Okay. So Asia Broadband Inc. is a resource company focused on the production of precious metals and the accumulation of physical gold holdings. They are working in Mexico. They've got something going on down there. I don't know all the details. Relative volume around the company today was about half of what they normally do. They've been doing about 9.1 million over the last 30 days. Today they did 4.4 million. Share structure for Asia Broadband is ridiculous. We're at 4.1 billion shares. They have 4.8 billion shares total. So they have virtually put everything out. Now, yeah. They've got 700, 600 million more shares. That sounds like a lot of shares. For most companies, it is. Drop in the bucket with this company. So we've got 4.1 billion shares on the market. The insiders, thank God, own about 250 million shares, roughly. We get all the rest, just under 4 billion shares. You know how thin your pieces of pie are when you cut 4 billion pieces? It's very thin pie, folks. And what this tells me is that as soon as this company gets popular, now it's been a long time. I've been watching this company for years and they just haven't gone anywhere, right? When they start getting popular, when they start running for 3 or 4 days and they start moving, we're already over a penny, which is pretty exciting to see on the OTCID, right? She's actually over a penny. She could be on the QB. I would expect a reverse stock split. Now, you can't just do it. You just can't say, let's have a reverse stock split now. Nope, it's got to be approved by the shareholders. So there had to be a shareholder meeting. They had to vote on it. Had to be approved. Normally, when it gets approved, the directors get control of it for a year, and they can use it anytime they want at their discretion. So at their discretion, it would happen with a 3 to 5 day warning. You're supposed to get 5, but I see it down to 3. They'll give you a warning that it's going to happen. What I'm saying is, if you start to see this stock run and it's taking gains, you may want to get out because as soon as they announce a reverse stock split, it's going to fall. Before the reverse stock split, it's going to fall and you're going to want your gains. So if it starts running strong, just think in the back of your head, oh, too many shares, getting hot. So what you got to do is go, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to take this. We're going to run over here to Google. We're going to put in that ticker, AAB. And we are going to do shareholder meeting. We don't need 2024. We'll do split. You don't need reverse. Split is good enough. Vote. Let's see what we get. 2015. Let's put this in order now. Time. The last year. Yeah, 1 year, please. I don't see anything here. What's this? Strong quarter for 3 months ended. Nope. Looks like we're in the clear here. Normally it would pop up right up at the top. You can jump over here at news too. There's nothing there. Oh, that's good. I'm liking that. So this doesn't look like they have one approved, which is, That's great news, folks. So when it starts to run, you don't have to panic that they're going to throw a reverse stock split out there. Now, it wouldn't hurt to do some more due diligence. We just looked real quick. I may have missed it. Don't count on everything I say as being perfect. Market cap for the company with all those shares, we're at 69 million. Financials, are they making any money? Yes. It's been steady growing from 2.7 million up to 8 million, and they're getting to keep a little over 50%. That's not a bad profit margin, whatever it is they're doing. Quarterly financials, they've been doing about 2 to 3 million, roughly somewhere in there every quarter. And it looks like their profits are growing right along with their revenues. And it's about 50%. Everything is looking pretty decent on the financials. Not super hot, but there's no problems. Balance sheet, cash in the bank, we got about 52 million. Total assets, 154 million. Total stockholder, total liabilities, almost missed it. It was so small. I almost missed it. 230,000. So we're left with everything else. This is all for us. $154 million stockholder equity. Take those 4 billion shares and divide it into 154 million, and that will give you a stockholder equity price based on equity. I don't know what that comes out to, but that would be the price. But my point here is they're making revenues. They have profit. We have profit. We're not holding the bag here. We just need something to happen. The company isn't moving. They're not going up. So let's take a look now at the news, see what is happening. I got nothing highlighted. Why not? Boo. I'm supposed to have highlights. Okay, no highlights. Let's see what we've got here. Scanning back here to, I'm at July. AAB acquires revolutionary Argo gold recovery system in $23.5 million share deal collaboration. All right, a gold recovery system. So, there's a lot of these technology companies that have found ways to get smaller and smaller amounts of gold out of the stuff that's been thrown away. And this company is working on that. They're trying to get technology to get the absolute most gold out of whatever they have. Asia broadband gold and silver. That's the first time I saw that. Production upward trend continues in second quarter as its ore stockpile processing plant second phase installation advances towards completion. So they are working mining. We haven't done any research on that. They do have processing units which make what they get more valuable to them. Asia Broadband advances installation of phase 2 production line processing equipment at the new Estalon plant site. That was at the end of September. The company finalizes a milestone production agreement for the second large-scale gold and silver ore stockpile in Mexico. Asia Broadband announced the strategic operational plant upgrades during their temporary production pause following severe weather. I wasn't aware of it. You can learn too if you read the news. Asia Broadband moves into final stages of preparation for federal legal action filing to protect shareholders from market manipulation. Are we talking about short sellers here? Engaged in unlawful, collusive trading activity, including spoofing and wash trading. False and misleading statements. Okay, so they've got something going on here. It doesn't seem to me that this is the first time I've heard AABB make a news press about this. Seems to me a couple years ago they went through this as well. Last piece of news came out yesterday. Asia Broadband to report increased gold and silver production and gross profit for the third quarter as gold and silver holdings continue to appreciate. Well, gold and silver are hot right now. I mean, if you're going to be into precious metals, these are the ones you want. Critical minerals are great too. So they are increasing. Not going to dive in and do any, see what their numbers are. I'm going to let you do all of that. But things are getting better for them. We should see the chart coming up. I haven't seen any more news here about their wallet. We don't see any news here about their tokens. So the things they were pushing back when I was looking at this stock, they're not pushing right now. I don't see a whole lot going on. So let's see what we have for disclosures. I think that would be the last thing we had to consider. 2009, don't have to worry about that. And our last quarterly report back in August. Quarterly report, remember, this isn't even audited. These disclosures are just tallies of the money that came in, money that they spent, and this is given to you by the management. This is why I say you need to trust the management if you're going to invest your money, because all the information you get comes from them. All right, let's go take a look now at the chart for ticker AABB. Voice is starting to go, hanging in there. That don't look good. All right, this is Asia Broadband, AABB, on a 1 day, 1 year chart. We have got a 52-week high here of about 4.4. That is 4.4 cents. That is June of this year. From that high bubble, it's been downhill all the way through the 200, underneath all of the MAs, down to a 52-week low of 1.5 cents, 1.6 cents. So it was a huge fall, losing 300% of what she had on the table. She just hit that low bubble today, right? Now, you got to remember, from this point right there, everything underneath here is a low bubble, low bubble, low bubble, low bubble. These are all low bubbles. So the low bubble is no special thing here. That is a 52-week low. Ever since this right here, these would have all been 52-week lows. If this stock was undervalued, if people saw value in this stock, it would have probably jumped way before now. It hasn't jumped. So I'm not seeing the value based on other people not seeing the value. The chart isn't responding the way you would think. So we hit a low today, and she is still falling on a red bar. Looks like she's still falling. All of our oscillators, well, actually there is a little bit of heat in some of them. Our PPO is definitely falling. No doubt about that. Our ADX, we're on the low end. Every single line, regardless of where they're at, they're down here at the low section, which is where there's no power, no strength. So we got nothing going on. Our MACD, well, look at that. You can't see much of it there, so I'm going to try to zoom in on that a little bit. Got to move my chart. We are actually coming up. Now, it's not much, but we're looking for indicators, a little bit, something. Everything looks like it's still falling. Well, everything is still falling. Looks like our PPO may be flat, may actually have stopped falling. Our MACD is actually coming up right now. We've just had a crossover, and our RSI is coming up off the floor. Now, it's cold. It's very, very cold. It's down there at 37. She's just over top of the oversold, but she's climbing. Right? She's climbing. Your RSI is as close to your price bars. If you were to take these bars and turn them into a line, the line would look darn near like this line here. But this would look a little different because it's been flattened out, kind of like a flat globe. They make it flat and looks weird. When this rises, the price rises. Well, we got a red bar right now, so this is showing us a little bit of hope. Let's go on down to our 4-hour view, see if there's anything there to see. Nothing. We've still got our low bubble. Everything is still falling. Everything is still falling. Oscillators, well, again, we see a little bit of heat. Our PPO is coming up slightly, not much, but slightly. This is a big change here. The green line is your uptrend. Your red line is your downtrend. Whichever one is on top is in charge on the board. Well, I see a red bar there. I see a low bubble on that red bar, but it says the uptrend is in charge. That's an undercurrent. You can't see it on the surface. That's why we look at our oscillators. And that yellow line is measuring the strength of the dominant trend. Dominant trend is the uptrend. This is going into strength. 100% at the top, 0 at the bottom. Right now it's at 70% and climbing. This is telling me that the uptrend is getting stronger, even though the chart doesn't look strong at all. Our MACD climbing, not much, but it's climbing. RSI climbing. So we have got 3 out of 4 maybe even 4 out of 4 oscillators are actually climbing a little bit, though the chart looks pathetic. Come on down to our half hour. Let's do a 10-day, 30-minute downtrend underneath the 200, but we got lots of wicks. I love the wick action, poking through the 200, ripping through the 200. No way it's going to break out. Folks, when you see a falling 200, you have a big run through it. Do not think it's going to continue. If it does, it's going to come down so hard, you're probably not going to be able to get out fast enough. When it goes up, it has to come back down because it's a falling 200. Those are the rules. You break the rules, you come down harder. This went up way high. It started off right here, went way up and came all the way back down here. Lots of volatility in here, folks. Now, what we've got is a 200 squeeze waiting to set up. It is not set up. We have all of our oscillators in a downtrend. When things start to flatten out, that's when you get all the lines crossing each other. Everything has to cross to start coming back up. That's when you get your 200 squeeze. We're still in a fall. Things could start to turn if we get volume and she starts to come up. Now, what do these oscillators look like? You can see it easy, right? Everything is pushing up. Everything is climbing. Not hard, but it's the start. Let's take a look at our 5-day, 5-minute. Big wicks. I'm liking the wicks. As a day trader, that's all I'm really looking for. Big moves. Get out at the top. I sell on green bars. I don't sell on red bars because when you're putting in your sell price, you don't want a market order, do you? Boom, boom, boom. No. So you got to put in a price. Oh, I missed it. Got to put in a price. Oh, I missed it. Wouldn't you rather miss it going up? Oh, I missed it. Actually, you could sell market orders going up as it's climbing. Just put in a freaking market order. It's going up. The price is up. So you'll get more than you think you're going to get. Don't wait for a red bar to buy. Don't wait for a red bar to sell. Unless you're playing puts, red bars are to be avoided, folks. We don't want to do anything on a red bar. Everything is still falling here. We are at our low. Last bar of the day, being on the OTC, you're not going to see hardly any aftermarket, pre-market activity. Me and you cannot trade at pre-market, aftermarket, but some people can. Brokers, market makers, they can trade. Why they want to do it? That's their business. But if you see trading in the aftermarket, pre-market period, it's not us, it's them. And we can't take advantage of it. There's nothing we can do. We can only watch it and wait for the bells to happen. So we ended the day on a low here of 1.6 cents with a falling 200. All right, I'll give it credit and say it's flat. That's the best I can do for you. I'm not liking AABB. I've not been a fan of this stock. Even though I've looked at it through the years, it's just never done anything for me, and it's not doing anything for me now. But if you've got it, I wish you the best. I don't want to pop anybody's bubble. AABB. You weren't as much fun as I was thinking you'd be. John, can you? Oh, we did. Okay. No more talking, so I'll just keep on moving. Let me get a drink, though. Thank you. Next stock we're going to take a look at. This comes from the Underdog. This is a stock I have never heard of. This is ticker SPHL. This is Springview Holdings. This is a construction company for residential and commercial buildings in Singapore. They had strong daily volume. Share structure is about 21 million shares. And this is another one of those companies that was under $1 for too long and was going to be delisted yesterday or today. Let me get my bearings and I'll let you know. So this is ticker SPHL. Springview Holdings. This company is based out of Singapore. Finished today at just about 53 cents. Dropped about 8.5 cents, which was about a nickel. This is a penny stock on the major exchange, giving you all those benefits major exchange stocks give you. So as I said, the company builds residential and commercial buildings. Let's see what we've got for information here. Relative volume was strong. It's up more than double, jumping from 1.8 million as a daily average over the last 30 days to 4.3 million today. Share structure for Phil's outstanding share count. Well, we just told you it was 21 million, right? Because that's outdated. Anytime I see 2024, I think, outdated. It's a year ago, right? So we're at 21 million right now, which is about double what they were back then, which means our market cap is going to be double. So that'll be closer to 12, 13 million, somewhere in that vicinity. Looking at the financials for the company, of course, SPHL, we need to get over to here. SPHL. Slow as she goes. Now, I don't know if this company, I think this company is in that flux period. They should have been off the market already, but they're not off the market. And if they appealed it, they'd buy themselves 4 to 6 more weeks. So nothing could happen to them when they were supposed to go now. Nope, we got this magic card. Can't touch us for 4 to 6 weeks. I think they did an appeal. We couldn't see the appeal, and that's why they're still sitting here. But the stock is still under $1. It's still got to solve that problem before the hearing, right? So taking a look at the financial information, which I did not click onto here. We got them up. We just didn't get the rest up. It's a coming. It's very slow. Top 3 lines, maybe top 4. Total revenue. Over the last 4 years, we've gone from basically 7 million to 13 million, back down to 7 million. And we give all that money away to make that money. We made 8 million last year and we gave away basically 8 million. So we got to keep like 900,000. In the last trailing 12 months, we did 7.5 million. We had to spend 7.1 million. So we got just under $500,000. Operating expenses, well, that's more like it, right? 2.2 million. You made 7.5 million and it cost you 2.2 million to run your operation. That's a business I can understand. That's a business I can get behind. And I don't know anything about this company. Taking a look at the news for the company. One piece of news, Springview Holdings Limited initiates the appeal. There's that news. When did this come out? October 31st. And basically, it's everything I just said. They were underneath $1 too long. They got a warning. They had 6 months to get it fixed. They didn't fix it. They did not have the right to a compliance period. So they were going down to the OTC. They could appeal it. That bought them 4 to 6 weeks. We're in the middle of that waiting period. Once the hearing happens, we better have this fixed. If it's not fixed, they're either going to do a reverse stock split or they're going down to the OTC. And reverse stock split, we got 21 million shares. Well, they only need to be over $1. Now, they could do a 1 and 2, just cut their shares in half, go down to 5 million. That would put them just over $1. But do you want to be that close to the red line? Right? You want to be a little bit away from it, maybe 5, 6, $3. So they might do a 1 and 6, right? And end up with 2 million shares down here. Just thinking ahead, thinking out loud. Disclosures for the company. What did I say over here about this? I don't think there was anything else we needed to look at. Meeting for the shareholders. I didn't look at this one. Well, there you go. They've already voted on a reverse split right there. Shall not be more than 1 and 4. There you go. 1 and 4. So at this point in time, if they did it, we'd be at $2, right? We're at 50 cents. It would take us up to $2, which would get them twice as far as they need to be from that dollar mark. Let's get away from that dollar mark. It's a lot of trouble, right? But it doesn't really matter how far you push yourself. We just had a stock, what was it? YYAI, I think, went all the way up to $20 or something like that and came all the way back down to $1 after a 1 and 20 reverse stock split from $1 to 20 back to $1. I mean, that's just heartbreaking, So they don't have a date here. Let's see. There it is. This reverse stock split, It's absolute and sole discretion is to the directors. And oh, good. Look at this. A duration period of 2 years. I've not seen that before. Maybe I just haven't paid attention. So this was just past October 17th. They just passed it because they knew they were in trouble. They had to prepare for this. They don't want to go down to the OTC. It's a lot less expensive down there, but you don't get the shoppers. You don't get the investors. You don't get the volume. You get ignored. You don't want to go down to the OTC. So they will make us pay for it with the reverse stock split if we do not push that price up over $1. That's the way it works. So we got a 1N forward reverse stock split sitting on the table to be used anytime they want. There you go. There's your information. Let's go take a look now at the ticker SPHL. I'm going to copy that because for some reason I'm thinking I'm going to forget. What time is it? 5:35. No wonder. I'm kind of dizzy. I am. All right. This is SPHL, Springview Holdings. We're looking at SPHL on the 5-minute chart. Let's take this back to a year. Oh, my goodness. We had a big plummet right there. So she was at about $4 to $5 for a while. She took a roll down here to $2.20 and then a huge rip up to $7.80, which is huge. That's a 300% run right there. And then she didn't just fall hard back to where she came from. She went all the way down here to where she's never been. My God, she went from $7.80 down to 35 cents. I have no idea what caused Phil to fall, but she fell on the 13th of March. Is that Friday the 13th? I'm just saying. So she came down here, hit this low, and she's been going sideways without a whole lot of activity. We didn't have a jump there. Now, where's our 200? There's our 200. Just came into the picture. So back here, the 50 was king of the board. We had nothing happen when the king came down to the price. Little bump, nothing to talk about. She's hanging around the 50 without any excitement. Here in September, we started getting some activity. Now, why is that? Well, we've got more data. We've got two 200s on the board now. We've got our 200 MA, which in a lot of cases, you will see the price go to a new MA because there's more data there. You can trust that data. This is a 200-day average for the price. So to bring the price from here up to there makes sense. It just makes sense. This is a 200-day haul. This is pushing up. These two are coming together. What do we got? Our virgin 200 squeeze. This is the very first time. Pop. So right now she's getting on top of the 50, rising 200 haul, falling 200 MA. This could pop very easily, folks. She's in the right position right now. SPHL could go. We got volume coming into the picture. It's not a lot, but we have volume in the picture. Our oscillators are warm. They're a bit fickle, but they're in the neighborhood. They at least have some heat, some light. Coming on down to our 4-hour view, nothing really to be seen on the 4-hour view. Let's come on down to a 1-hour. We can see something happening here. Not much is happening. Really, she's going sideways, right? If I put my line right there from one side of the board to the other, just meandering across the board right now. We're on a bounce down. Now, what you do notice is that the deeper down you go, the bigger up you bounce. That's the way waves work. If they go down deep, they come up high. So whenever you see a deep drop, you should be expecting or looking for a big rip. And you can take advantage of that. Well, we're on a downhill right now, but we're still over top of most of our MAs. We are over top of the 200 haul, underneath the 200 MA, and darn near on top of the 50. That's a 200 squeeze. So this is ready to pop on the 1-hour chart as well. She just needs some volume. That's all we're looking for here. And what is the catalyst? Bloody hell, I don't know. She gets over $1. That's going to be the catalyst, I'm thinking. Seriously, the people invested in this company right now may be buying shares. They may be adding to their shares, not because they want more, but because they want to push the price up over $1. They don't want to go through a reverse stock split. They don't want to lose 3/4 of all their shares. If you have 100 shares, you're going to end up with 25 shares after the reverse stock split. Nobody wants to do that. I know you think, but I'm not losing any money. It's the same price. Bull. If you're losing money on a stock, say you're down a dime, you're down 10 cents on the stock. After a 1 in 4 reverse stock split, you'll be down 40 cents. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but it is. And if the reverse stock split fails and it falls after the reverse stock split, your spread gets so bloody big that you can't average down because your penny stock isn't a penny stock anymore. It's your average is like $26 a share. And it's like, oh my God, the stock is only $1.80 and my average is $26 because I was at a loss. So be very, very careful getting into stocks before reverse stock splits. You can get really pounded by them. Take a look at our 5-day, 5-minute. Not a whole lot of activity. Nothing to really look at. She's going sideways. She's not showing anything. She's on an uptrend right now. You know, she's down, up, but she's not going anywhere. If you like the stock, you may want to put it on your watch list, but I just don't see enough going on here. She has to get up over $1 or she's going to do a reverse stock split. That has to happen in the next 4 to 6 weeks. In 4 to 6 weeks, if they have that hearing and we're underneath $1, expect it. If we're over $1 for 10 days, we're in the clear. You have nothing to worry about, but we have to close over $1 for 10 days straight. Then they're out of trouble and all of this hearing stuff is moot. We don't even have to worry about it. That be the spill for spill. Are you guys still with me? I don't see any. Y'all fell asleep. Yeah, it's been 1 hour and 41 minutes, for God's sake. Did I have any other tickers? You know, I'm going to bring this up just so we can go over here. I'm going to bring this up here. I did. I don't think I'm going to be able to cover the next ticker. Nope. Doggone it, man. All right. The last ticker I was going to cover, folks, was Cooler, ticker KULR. Now, I'll tell you what, folks, Cooler needs some serious due diligence. I've been covering this stock for quite a few years, and she just keeps doing more and more. Very high sophisticated technology, working in the aerospace and defense industry. She's doing a lot. She started off working with this carbon technology to help lithium batteries. They created these envelopes so you could put lithium batteries in them for your iPhone or your computer, and you could send them on airplanes. You could mail them. These envelopes were approved by the UPS, the USPS. Basically, if a battery explodes, these envelopes hold all the heat and hold the explosion in. How about that? They even have these as separators in lithium batteries. There's lots of different cells in there. And when one cell burns up, it lights up another cell and another cell. And you have this huge chain reaction. Well, they have these carbon boxes, so it stops. Can't go any further than that one cell burning out. Kind of like a pixel burning out on your screen. How would you like to have it chain reaction? And just burn them all out. This stops that. But they do a lot more. They're now working with these newfangled batteries for aerospace and military equipment. They've got lots of new technologies that they're working with. Their daily volume was average today. Share structure is decent. Strong revenues. Spending a lot of money, though, for their business. They've got no filings and they've got no current news. So I don't know why they'd be running if they were running. You know, I never look at the charts when I do this due diligence. It's always virgin to me when we get to them. So there you go, folks. I know you guys had other ones here. We had Kashera bringing in FGL. In case you guys weren't going through the comments here, we got lots of other tickers that are being shared with you. Now, whether they're hot or not, I don't know. That's what I request, hot penny stocks. There's BGI. Let's see. Got else another one here. YGMZ. Seems to me, I just looked at that one not too long ago. Maximus with his Air, AIRE. We've also got Jerome's STGW. Anything else here? We do have EPWK running after hours. Is it running again? Okie dokie. Yeah, we covered that last week, I think we did. And we have actually played it a couple times over there at Penny Boys too. So if you're watching me on YouTube, there is a link down there at the bottom. It has Wizard at the very end. It's the last word Wizard. That is a live link. It's an invite to Penny Boys. Now, if you've already got a Discord group, it'll just take you right to us. Just go over to the left-hand column, find the Stock Wizards Momentum page, click it. That's where I'm at. You can also go to the free lobby. That's available. There's other people in there that from Discord that can help you with swing trades, option trading, all that sort of stuff. We got lots of stuff we want to share with you. But you got to come first. If you don't have a Discord account, don't worry about it. Just click the button, give them an email, choose a username and password. You're in there. They'll send you to us again. Go over to the left-hand side, blah, blah, blah. Come on in. That's where you'll find us. I'm there every single day. I would love to see you in there. And for me to see you, you've got to say hello. You know, a lot of you come in with different names. So let me know who you are. I would love to see you in there. And let's see if we can make us some money. It's been dangerous. We plan our trades in there. We don't go hog wild. I will harp about that over and over again. Thank you, folks. I appreciate all of you showing up here, putting up with me. I know I don't get to as many stocks as I'd like to, as many as you'd like me to, but I try the best I can. Remember, I'll be here next week, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursday. Every Thursday except Thanksgiving. And that's right around the corner. So remember that. See you next week, folks. Hallelujah. No, I'm not doing a Home Alone. No,